Now the standard Mazda 3 got a pretty big upgrade for 2013. We're talking a new Skyactiv engine that's more efficient, a new visual upgrade, and a bunch of interior upgrades that made it a much better car. Now the Mazdaspeed3, the performance version here, is pretty much unchanged for its 2013 model year, with one exception. It's got a new tech package that pretty much modernizes what's arguably the best hot hatch that you can buy in America. I'm Antoine Gould with CNET.com. Let's take a look at the 2013 Mazdaspeed3. Check the tech. Now, where the standard Mazda 3 is available as a sedan, the Mazdaspeed3 is only available as a hatchback. Now, you can tell it from a standard hatch by its more aggressive spoiler, its bigger 18-inch wheels with their much more aggressive brakes. Our model's also equipped with the adaptive front lighting system. It's a high-intensity discharge lighting system that steers a little bit when you turn your steering wheel, so you can kind of see around turns when you drive at night. All right, from the driver's seat of the new Mazdaspeed3, we can see one really big change right away, and that's this new touchscreen navigation system that's powered by TomTom. Now, where the previous Mazdaspeed3 and Mazda 3 units used to hide their navigation up in this little tiny 3.5-inch screen, now you've got a really big touchscreen that gives you a lot of real estate for sort of fooling around with, hitting buttons, and also viewing the map. You've got AM/FM with HD radio decoding. You've got your Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth for hands-free calling and audio streaming. Now, if you've got a Bluetooth-paired smartphone, Android or iOS, and it's running Pandora, you can actually reach up right here and hit one button and actually have your phone launch the Pandora app. Automatically switch over into a accessory mode that'll lock you out of your phone and transfer all of those Pandora controls right over here into the Mazdaspeed3's dashboard. You get all of your audio information about what's playing, who's playing. You get all your stations right here so you can browse through those. Now let's get over to the nav because it's interesting. It's basically what they've done is taken a TomTom navigation unit, boiled it down to just its data, put it on an SD card somewhere in this dashboard, and then given you the readout here. So the interface is exactly what you would see on a modern TomTom navigation device. You've got your maps here. You can tap anywhere and bring up the familiar TomTom menu where you can search for destinations, get traffic and whatnot. It's all here. Now when you spec that navigation system, these two displays up here on the eyebrow still remain the same. One of them pretty much only displays your climate control information, and the other one is pretty much relegated to just showing your instantaneous fuel economy and range in miles. You've also got brand new in the Mazdaspeed3 a blind spot information system. You hit a button on the dashboard, and whenever something's in your blind spot, you get a little light in the wing mirror. There is no backup camera standard on this vehicle, and I don't even know if you can get one as an option. Probably needs one. Lift the hood of the Mazdaspeed3, and the first thing you'll be greeted with is this top mount intercooler. Now, the purpose of this thing is to cool the intake charge coming in from that hot turbocharger, and it's fed cool air by this actual functional hood scoop on the hood. Now, underneath this, you'll find the 2.3-liter turbocharged engine that's going to output 263 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. Now, all of that's going to the front wheels by way of a 6-speed manual transmission. And that's a lot of torque. So you're going to want to make sure that steering wheel's pointed nice and straight before you drop the hammer, or torque steer is going to be a bit of a problem. Fuel economy is rated at 18.25, but let's be honest, I'll be lucky if I can get 10. Makes a pretty good sound for what's basically a turbocharged four-cylinder. It's really easy for these engines to end up sounding like weed whackers or lawnmowers or something like that. This one's actually got a pretty good sound, and that's because Mazda spent some time tuning the exhaust. Power's good too. I've complained the first time I got an opportunity to drive this car. It was a couple of years ago, and it was at night and in the rain, and 280 pound-feet of torque at night in the rain in a front-wheel drive car, as you can imagine, is kind of scary. On dry roads, it's actually not that bad, and that's helped partially by the fact that Mazda's engineers have limited the total torque output in first and second gear so that you get less torque steer. Now, I know a lot of people are probably also turning their nose up at the fact that this is a front-wheel drive car, but before you go get your torches and pitchforks and start talking about front-wheel drive bad, rear-wheel drive good, there are a lot of really good front-wheel drive cars out there. This is arguably one of the best ones that you can buy. The suspension tune is firm but not punishing. You definitely want to avoid potholes and any sort of like grates, drainage grates on the side of the road though, because it is a bit of a rough ride, but it's not punishing. You don't really have to dodge joints in the roads, and it's firm so that you get a lot of good feedback through the steering wheel and through the seat of your pants. Other than that, at highway speeds, you don't really get a ton of road noise. You do have wider tires, firmer suspension on this vehicle than you would have in your standard Mazda 3, so there is a bit of road noise, but it's not so much that you can't really hear the Bose audio system that we've got on this vehicle. Now that Bose audio system sounds pretty good, but I had to double check that it was actually premium audio because it doesn't sound premium good. It's just all right. Speccing your 2013 Mazdaspeed3 couldn't be easier. It bases at $24,200, and there's really only one option you want. That's the all-encompassing tech package that's going to add the navigation, the blind spot monitoring, the adaptive front lighting, all of that for $2,485. Add in a couple of small dealer-installed options and our destination charge to reach our as-tested price of $27,955. That's probably the sweet spot for the Mazdaspeed3. You really can't get a better deal for a high-performance hot hatchback this side of a Subaru WRX or a Mitsubishi Ralliart Sportback.